How are we doing, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel here. Today we're going to be discussing the new patch of Project Diablo 2. This is going to be very similar to my other video I just released, discussing the new patch notes of Path of Diablo. We're just going to briefly kind of go over all the different notes here. There is a lot of changes here. So we're just going to kind of go through one by one. This is going to be a long video, not a quick video. I'm going to try to leave some timestamps down in the description below, so if you want to click that and hop around to kind of different subcategories of different things, that'll be available to you as well. But we're just going to jump right into it and kind of go over some of the new things that is dropping. The official season start date is going to be March 12th. The closed beta just started on March 3rd. I believe you had to like get invited to the closed beta based on testing and whatnot. So unfortunately I didn't get invited, but you know, it is what it is. But let's just jump into it here. Right off the bat here, you got a couple different links. We got a hype trailer and a preview of some of the item changes. I'm not going to go into specific item changes because there is a lot. But here's some of the things that have been revealed already. I think he is kind of keeping some of the stuff a surprise. So that's kind of cool and annoying at the same time. But many new maps have been added. The tiers 1 through 3 will stay. However, there's going to be a lot more variety within the different tiers. They're supposed to be adding multiple different map types. That'll all be T1, multiple map types will be T2, etc., etc. So that's fun. Martial Arts Assassin has been heavily reworked. Detailed explanation below. I'll kind of go over that here in a second, which is all this stuff over here. I'm going to skip that for now. Crafting has been updated and reworked so that many new chase items are possible. Once again, got that over here. We'll go over that in a second. Diablo Clone now has an extremely rare chance to drop 1 of 5 new items. These are now considered to be the rarest items in the game. The only thing we know about these items as of now is that one of them is a pair of boots that can actually roll faster cast rate, which would be the only boots in the whole game that would drop faster cast rate. So we're expecting these items to be very broken. He has also confirmed that we can slam them and socket them. So that's kind of cool as well. That's we also know they're not all going to be boots or gloves. You know, can't socket boots or gloves. So it's going to be a chest or weapon or helmets or something, maybe a shield or something. But there's 5 total items, and you can slam them as well. Whirlwind has now been reworked to now have melee splash and use proc effects. Sometimes called CTCs, but now attacks of 5 frames instead of fixed 4, and now attacks 1 target per attack instead of 2. So that's cool. Melee splash has been added, and you now have a chance to proc enabled. So, for example, if you're using a bone hew axe, you can shoot bone spears out of it. Looks cool. We're gonna kind of see if it's effective or not. Sometimes the CTCs don't do a whole lot of damage. So we'll see how that goes. We just kind of got to test it and find out. Fist of the Heavens now hits all creature types. That's going to be cool. Before Fist of Heavens was just kind of basically worthless. And Holy Bolt was the king. Now Fist of Heavens hopefully will be a little bit more viable here. Frozen Orb now has no cooldown in using lightning faster cast rate frames. So it's going to be on the 117 faster cast rate. No cooldown. I don't know if that's a change or not. I mean, it's kind of how it was before, I think. They just adjusted the faster cast rate, so we'll have to test that out once again and kind of see how that works. Crossbows now have 10% physical pierce as an auto mod on all crossbows, deal 10% more damage. So that's kind of cool. You're giving crossbows base pierce chance and 10% more damage. Daggers now have a 20% deadly strike as an auto mod, so your white dagger will now have 20% deadly strike just as a default. So a small buff to daggers there. Repeating crossbows, demon crossbows. I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to skip it. Damage increased by 50%. So he's kind of focusing on giving all the crossbows a big buff to kind of bring them up to the same level as a lot of the unique bows. So that's cool. Bows and Amazon weapons now get 6 sockets via corruptions. Was previously bugged out. Maiden Spear, Ceremonial Spear, Matriarchal Spear reduced from 0 speed to -10. Okay. Maiden Speed Pike reduced from 10 speed to 0. So that's going to be a slight nerf, I think, there. Ceremonial Pike and Matriarchal Pike reduced from 20 speed to 10. All exceptional weapon bases deal 15% more damage. That's cool. The Decapitator, Bone Knife, Champion Axe, Glorious Axe, Falcha, I think that's the sword, Atgan, Elegant Blade, Hydra Edge, Conquest Swords all increase durability by 20. Bunch of staffs and other spears and stuff increased by 50% durability. One-handed swords now gain bonuses from both strength and dexterity, instead of just the strength. So if you're a dex-based build, you'll still gain some kind of buff for having both 75 dex and strength. So that's kind of cool. Two-handed swords now gain the same strength bonuses as two-handed axes and mauls. Spears and polearms gain the 75-75 bonus. All melee weapons with a range of 0 or 1 have been increased to a range of 2, with the exception of all daggers and throwing axes or throwing knives, which have all been increased to 1. Champion axe range increased to 4. All two-handed weapons have been increased range. Dole Rune now grants 25% enhanced damage instead of 15 life replenish. Was 25% to fear in vanilla. 25% enhanced damage might be an interesting mod. Remove the mood speed debuff auto mod from medium and heavy armors. That's actually really cool. It might be able to get some more interesting armors out there instead of everyone using, you know, Archon plates and dust shrouds. Antidote thawing and stamina pots now automatically go into your belt. So if you have an open slot in your belt and you pick a pot up off the ground, one of those pots like an antidote, it'll go straight to your belt. You can also now shift click into your belt when you're buying from the vendors, which is kind of cool. Here, martial arts assassin has been heavily reworked to now function in the following way. I'll go over that in a minute again. Last ladder, we did a lot of the following base changes for those who weren't aware. This plays into our current changes. Bardiche, Volge, Axe, Bill, Ogre Axe, Colossus Volge, all had increased range. Two-handed axes increased by 1, increased the range of Ogre Mauls and Thunder Mauls, and then they also added a dot roll feature near the end of ladder for players to roll against each other for loot. I don't know what that is. That seems kind of interesting though. I don't know if that's loot on drop or what, if it's just adding a dice roll or something to between two people to see who gets like a cool drop or something from like a bail run or something. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of the basic generalized mods or generalized changes in this mod. We're going to go over to the class specific stuff because there's a lot of stuff in here as well, guys. And we're going to go more specifically into the assassin changes and then all the class-based changes. So as far as the assassin goes, this is what had the biggest change out of all the classes here, and has been completely reworked and now functions in the following way. Martial arts has been reworked to cast the stage of the skill you are on when you attack with that skill. So if a player has 2 charges and they use the second charge of that skill on attack, on a third attack they will use the third and then reset back to 1. This converts the charge system to a stage system where your attacks are based on the amount of charges you have or the stage that you were on, and then cycle from stages 1, 2, and 3 and then repeat. Finishers are no longer required. If you use one, you will cast every stage of the charge you have generated. Charges are also universal, so you can combo from stage 1 Fist of Fire into stage 2 Blades of Ice into stage 3 Cobra Strike, and then begin a new combo string. Cobra Strike has been reworked to cast Poison Teeth on stage 1, Dual Leech on stage 2, and Poison Cloud on stage 3. These attacks carry venom damage and poison damage from gear. Dragon Tail and Dragon Talon now have proper synergies. Then we're kind of going to the more generalized stuff here. So basically what this big giant paragraph means is that they've completely changed how martial arts work. So now you can, before you had to cast a finisher, so you had to generate 3 charges and then use the finisher. Now you can just kind of, if you want to do stage 1, 2, and 3 and then finisher, you can. If you want to just do stage 1 and stage 2, or if you want to cross between Fist of Fire to cold, to poison, and then back again, you can. So it kind of just gives you a lot more options as far as viability. This is said to be very, very strong. So hopefully with the closed beta, we'll find out more information about how this is actually going to function beforehand. But yeah, it should be really, really good. Some of the other generalized changes, Mind Blast synergies got a slight nerf. Mind Blast AoE reduced by 1, Max AoE by 1. Psychic Hammer has been nerfed a little bit, 18 to 15. Blade Sentinel has been buffed from 6 to 10%. Blade Sentinel increased to 3/4 weapon damage instead of 1/4 weapon damage. Blade Fury weapon damage reduced from 100% to 3/4, or 75%. That's kind of a weird way to word that. So Blade Shield got a buff. Blade Shield will now last longer than 5 minutes at all levels. That's good. Claw and Dagger Mastery have been increased from 4 to 8%. So that's a buff. Venom now lasts 5 minutes at all levels. Traps now gain +% and -% elemental bonuses, including facets, meaning the new guide that I just put out with the fire skillers, with the plus fire damage and facets, that is actually accurate now. I kind of knew this change was coming, or I was hoping this change was coming, and that's why I included that in that build. Wake of Fire 8 to 16 scaling increased from 5 per level to 6 per level. Mid levels of Wake of Fire got a buff. 16 to 22 got a buff from 15 to 16. 22 to 29 has actually been nerfed a little bit by 1 level, and then 28 plus has been reduced by almost 3 per level. So overall, Wake of Fire at the very, very tippy top is going to be a little bit less. It's going to be a little bit better in the mid-tier levels. Wake of Fire now properly shoots 8 times instead of 5. That's good. Wake of Fire damage tooltip now shows in the character screen, so that is nice. It'll actually be able to tell you how much damage you actually do. Lightning Sentry synergies got a buff, so Lightning Synergy should do more. Lightning Sentry now shoots 12 times instead of 10. That's another buff. Chain Lightning Sentry 12 to 14. Chain Lightning Sentry now gains 1 extra damage per level, roughly at 8% damage increase overall, so another lightning buff. And then the max damage is now 40 instead of 35. So overall, Wake of Fire got a slight nerf, nothing crazy, and then the Lightning Sentry's got a slight buff. Into the Amazon tree. Fire and Cold Arrow tooltips now correctly display damage. Magic Arrow, Cold Arrow, and Fire Arrow will be buffed during the beta. Doesn't exactly say how, or probably just damage buffs. We'll find out more after the beta. Freezing Arrow level 28 plus scaling reduced from 30 to 28, so a slight nerf there. Power Strike damage tooltip now properly shows in the character screen, so you'll be able to tell your damage on the Power Strike skill. Power Strike base scaling increased from roughly 15%, increased by roughly 15%, so big nerf there. Or, I'm sorry, big buff there. Power Strike radius increased by 50%, so another huge buff. Lightning Bolt synergies increased by 2%. Lightning Fury bolts increased from 10 max to 14, so more Fury bolts there. Strafe Lightning per level increased from 14 to 16, so Strafe slight buff there. Exploding Immolation Arrow increased from 16 to 18. Fire Arrow's synergy has been increased from 22 to 24. Cold Arrow 20 to 22. Ice Arrow from 20 to 16, Ice Arrow synergies from 14 to 16, Ice Arrow freezing synergy to 14 to 16. So lots of changes to the bow tree of the Amazon here. Just a couple on the Power Strike, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully we'll get a nice Power Strike build up and coming. It was pretty okay last season, but this should help out a lot. On to Barbarian. Howl range AoE scaling reduced by 50%. Howl will now last 3 seconds at all levels. Polearm and Speararm mastery now starts at 30% enhanced damage instead of 25, so that's a little bit of a buff there. Pole and Spear Mastery now gains 6% damage per level instead of 5. Double Throw now properly displays this damage in the character screen, so that's good. Leap Attack synergies increased from 6 to 10%, so that's a big bump there. Battlecry Missile Speed increased by 25%. Battlecry AoE increased by roughly 15%. Battle Command now grants 20% enhanced damage instead of 10% at level 1, so a low level buff there. Battle Command now gives plus 3% damage instead of plus 2% damage. Grimward bonus damage per level increased from 4 to 5%. Grimward starting bonus damage from 28 to 35. Radius increased by 33%, so it's now going to be a huge radius. And it can now be used on skeleton corpses, so Grimward buff all around, it looks like. Once again, the Whirlwind spec here has been reworked to now have melee splash and proc effects. But they slowed it down a little bit. Frenzy speed synergies increased from 4 to 6%. Bash now gains 12% instead of 10% per level. So not a whole lot going on with the Barb, except for, I mean, the big thing is going to be the Whirlwind, so we'll have to see how that works out. Overall, so far, good changes. I don't have any problems with any of these changes. Base health for Lycanthropy increased from 10 to 15%, and life per level from Lycanthropy increased from 2 to 3%. So a little bit of a buff there. Hunger now gains 2% movement speed per level instead of 1, so that's cool. Hunger now gains 2 seconds per level instead of 1. Hunger can now be used on skeleton corpses. Rabies now has Lycanthropy as an additional synergy at 17%. Rabies Feral Rage synergy reduced from 22 to 17, so a nerf to Rabies there. Rabies Poison Creep synergy reduced from 22 to 17, another nerf. I didn't think Rabies was like super overpowered, but a couple nerfs there. Fury Enhanced damage per level reduced from 20% to 15%. Fury now has Feral Rage as a synergy at 10% enhanced damage per level. Twister synergy, Tornado synergy, Shockwave synergy, and Firestorm synergies all increased there. And Boulder synergies increased. Fissure synergies increased. Volcano synergies increased. So all around a ton of different skill buffs there, all for the Caster and Fire Druid. Gust now chills instead of stuns, okay. Poison Creeper damage scaling rebalanced and increased. Poison Creeper synergies increased from 8% to 20%. So it looks like Poison Creeper is going to be a lot better now. Oak Sage regen scaling reworked and increased, so that'll hopefully make Oak Sage at least a viable option. Before it looks like basically no one even used it because it got nerfed into the ground, so hopefully that'll help out a little bit. And that's it for the Druid. Onto the Necromancer. We have Skeleton's enhanced damage per level increased from 7 to 10%. Skeleton Warrior synergies increased from 8 to 10%. Skeleton Magi synergies increased from 8 to 12%. So all around some buffs there to the Skeletons. Revive level 1 duration increased. Revives now have half the health of the creatures they were revived from. Revives no longer bugged and gaining much more damage than their tooltip shows. Fire Golem scaling has been reworked and been weighted more towards its Holy Fire aura and less towards its melee attack. Okay, we'll see how that kind of works out. Dark Pack's Curse, Mastery, and Iron Maiden synergies increased from 10 to 16%. Dark Pack's all curse synergies increased from 6 to 10%, so some curse buffs there. Bloodwarp now recovers the lost health over 3 seconds. Casting Bloodwarp again will replace the previous life recovery effect. Teeth's level 8 scaling has been slightly improved, so a little bit of a teeth buff there, level 8 plus. Bone Spear armor synergy has been increased from 5 to 10%. Bone Spirit's bone armor synergy has been increased from 5 to 10%. So buffs on both Bone Spear and Bone Spirit synergies. And that's it for Necro, so nothing crazy. It looks like it's all basically summoned for the most part. Some changes to Fire Golem, so we might see some other Golem builds other than just the Fire Golem build. Revives and the Skeletons have been changed a little bit, so we might see some more generalized summon builds instead of just like mostly Revives and Fire Golems for the most part, I think. That's all I ever saw. On to the Pally. We got Res Fire Cold Light. Bonus elemental damage per level reduced from 3 to 1%. Maximum Res bonus reduced from 150 to 100. And then level 1 bonus is reduced from 45 to 25, so they might not be one-shot wonders now. You might have to pump some more points into there if you want to use the different levels for the Res, Fire, Cold, and Light levels. Synergy bonus to all elements reduced from 2% to 1% for every level. Salvation starting bonus to all elements reduced from 5% to 3%, okay. Salvation maximum all res reduced from 120 to 75. That's a big nerf there for Salvation. Salvation level 1 resist bonus reduced from 25 to 20. Okay, another nerf. Holy Bolt synergies reduced from 16 to 12%. The Holy Bolt got nerfed a little bit there. Holy Bolt heal synergies reduced from 10 to 6%. Fist of Heavens now hits all creature types. Once again, that's pretty good. I like that a lot. Fist of Heavens I like a lot better than Holy Bolt. Blessed Hammer synergies have been increased from 10 to 12%. Blessed Hammer now has 33% faster travel speed. Prayer no longer costs mana. Sanctuary will be getting rebalanced during the beta. So maybe he's trying to bring hammers back a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing hammers. Sad part about hammers is they're so nerfed into the ground now that no one even uses them, and they're such a classic build from vanilla. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some Hammerdens back. On to Sorceress. Now here's the part that's going to affect me. I'm rolling a Sorceress right off the bat this season. Charge Bolt synergies increased from 4 to 5%. Lightning 28 plus scaling increased from 26 to 28. Okay, so lightning buffs here. Lightning synergies increased from 6 to 8%. So quite a few lightning buffs there. Chain Lightning starting mana reduced from 16 to 18. So that'll be useful early game if you go Lightning Sorceress. Chain Lightning level 22 plus scaling improved slightly. Okay. Chain Lightning synergies increased from 5% to 7%. Frost Nova mana cost reduced from 16 based down to only 6. Wow. Frost Nova damage scaling has been redone and improved. Roughly 20% damage buff in fully maxed gear. Wow. Frost Nova. That might be the build of the season then. Frost Nova. I might run that right off the bat. That should be fun. I love Frost Nova. Frozen Orb cooldown removed and changed to lightning casting frames. Everything I've seen about this is it's basically a wash. Nothing really changed. Ice Barrage starting mana cost reduced from 10 to 8. Ice Barrage mana cost per level reduced from half to 25. Ice Barrage AoE increased by 50%. Okay, a big buff to Ice Barrage there. Synergies increased from 7 to 8% and range increased by 20%. Okay, cool. Big buffs to Ice Barrage there. That might be another interesting build. Didn't see a lot of people running Ice Barrage at all last season, which is a shame because it was a new ability. Blizzard synergies increased from 9 to 10%. Meteor increased from 5 to 12%. Big Meteor buff there. Static now follows the half penalty on immunes. Okay, static field now capped at 55, 70, and 85 in hell. You know, like 15% for the 1 point. I don't know if that's worth it or not, other than the immunities, but yeah, okay. Thunderstorm synergies increased from 4 to 5%. Combustion synergies nerfed from 18 to 12. Big combustion nerf there. That's going to hurt the combustion sorks quite a bit. Fireball synergies increased from 14 to 16%. So Fireball got a small buff there. So that's pretty huge. A lot of changes here. I don't have any problems with any of it, really, honestly. I might actually roll Frost Nova off the bat. The Nova, starting off with Frost Nova is always a pain because of the mana. So just the fact that he dropped it from 16 down to 6, that's going to be huge as far as leveling wise. And it was already such a good skill. You just had to chug mana pots, which was annoying. And then the damage scaling has been redone and improved, and at end game 20% buff in max gear. So we'll see how that goes. Last season I ran Lightning Nova and I really liked that, and I think with this season we're gonna run Frost Nova. That's gonna be fun. Interestingly enough, no changes to the Hydra Sork at all. I kind of figured we'd see a small nerf to the Hydra Sork. I thought the Hydra Sork was pretty strong. But nothing here. Obviously combustion was going to get nerfed. We figured that. The lightning stuff, other than the synergies, nothing's really changing with the lightning. 4 to 5%. I mean, I don't know that people are going to run lightning. The problem with lightning is that you really need an infinity to do anything, which makes it end game automatically. So I don't know how many people are going to really run lightning. But the Frost Nova and the Ice Barrage is really interesting as far as Sorceress Changes. All right, lastly, we're going to hop over to the other huge change, which is going to be the crafting change. They haven't really gave us that much information so far. Values may change after the testing is done as well here, but we're going to pop this up and just kind of show you guys some of the insane changes that have been made. All recipes now require any item of that base type as long as it's magic. For example, a chest craft can be used with any chest, and a boot craft can be used with any boot. The only exception to this rule is that you cannot craft with circlets, cornets, tiaras, or diadems. Okay, so we got, saved all the safety stuff here. Huge changes here. Pre-beta notes here. All recipes now require any item of the type as long as it's magic. Oh, that's all. Okay, they just copied and pasted it every time. Got it. So here is all the blood recipes now. So you can craft, lifesteal per hit, strength, enhanced damage, all this stuff. Here's the caster things. Caster amulets unchanged. Caster rings increased 5 to 10 energy and regen mana, replaced with 1 to 2 mana after each kill. Mana after kill is fantastic for casters. Caster weapons. Maximum mana and regenerate mana replaced with 1 to all skills and 10 to 20 faster cast rate. So instead of max mana and regen mana, you're going to get 1 all skills and 10 to 20% faster cast rate. That could be interesting. I mean, you could actually create endgame weapons potentially. Everything else is okay, whatever. Helmets, caster helmets. A lot of stuff in here. I'm going to link this down in the description below. I've never been a crafter, so I don't really know what any of this means. All I know is that there is a ton of people that really like these changes. And it might be worth actually diving into. Caster claws are going to be amazing. People are really excited about this, so check this out. It's pinned on the top of the Project Diablo 2 board here, so check it out. Lots changed, and like I said, I'll link it down in the description below. That's basically it. Let me know what you guys think about any of these changes. If there's a change that you really hate, if there's a change that you love, I'm interested to see how this new season is going to go. I kind of mentioned in my Path of Diablo video that I'm a little bit disappointed that Path of Diablo waited so long to do their reset, because now it's going to force a lot of us that play both into playing one or the other. Project Diablo 2 is resetting on the 12th here, and Path of Diablo is resetting on the 5th, which is tomorrow. So I'm going to be playing both. Let me know what you guys want to see as far as video contents are concerned. A lot of the changes look really good here. Both mods have done incredible, and yeah, we just gotta kind of wait and see what happens here with the new servers. Hopefully all the issues with the dupes and server issues are resolved this season. That is fingers crossed. That was the only thing I was kind of sad about in the first season, as well as hopefully the new trade site can hold up with the huge influx of people that are going to come back with the reset of this mod. That's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys for watching so much. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Check out the rest of my videos. I make both Project Diablo 2, Path of Diablo, Vanilla Diablo, modded Diablo, Holy Grail content. Check it out, all on my channel. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.
If I don't fuck with it or you, then I just cannot stay. Got people who never saw me know my name. Satisfied just to work for stay the same. In my world, I be on that silent hill, yeah, yeah. Born into the fog, truly do this shit for real.